Hi everyone, and welcome to K&D. I thought I'd just do a review today of ELR, a new project that we've just released. In fact, ELR was one of our first clients back in 2002, and we have worked with Alan right through the last 14 years on his website. Now, what does ELR do? ELR contains thousands of learning objects for high school students and music students throughout Australia. In fact, he's got over 400 schools signed up from around the country that use his resources on a day-to-day basis. Alan's worked tirelessly to generate all these different learning objects, sound modules, lots of content, rich content, video, interactive content, and I'll show you that in a minute to describe what ELR is. Now, why did we do a refresh? Well, obviously every business needs a rebrand and a refresh every few years. But as you can imagine, when we first started to build ELR back in 2002, that seems such a long time ago now. We built a database. We built it from a database. It was a cloud application way back then. Schools would log in online and do all their thing. Alan would log in to manage all the content within his site. But over the years, we built all these features into the site, and eventually the site, the code base became very, very complex and difficult for developers to use. Developers didn't want to work on such old code. So we went through a process of sitting down with Alan and going, hey, look, we actually really need to revisit how all of this is put together so we can move forward for the next 10 years. E-learning resources have been such a successful business within the education environment. We just need to make sure that we can sustain that for a much longer time, and the redevelopment process was an important part of the strategy moving forward for the next 10 years. So, okay, let's have a look. Let's log in and check out what ELR actually does. It is an iceberg. There's this small public area and an extremely large knowledge base and code base that's delivering a lot of content to the school users. So the site is essentially a collection of pages related to musical elements and structures, and then that teachers can use within the classroom on a day-to-day basis. So there's elements of music. There's, for example, there's duration. I can click into duration. Within duration, there's notation. There's notes and rests, dotted notes and rests. So I can click into each of those and look at all the detail. And then within the page, there's little audio bites that describe each of the elements of the content and the element of music. So, but what else does it do? We've moved to a full Laravel 5 backend with a PHP backend, so it's a custom learning management system, if you like, with a Bootstrap framework for the front end. And then we've custom built little JavaScript tools over the years, such as these players and quizzes to deliver the rich content. Let's have a look at some of the other rich content. So there's video embedded in the site. I won't play those now, but pretty standard. But Alan's spent a very, very long time putting all these videos together, so that the students they get used a lot within the classroom. There's overviews of history of music. This page is about the Rolling Stones and Eric Clapton. So it helps music students understand the rich history of rock music and classical music. There's quizzes. So we've built a whole quiz system. Students can do there's 100 or so, or even several hundred different quizzes applied to different sections of music. And within there, they can listen. So it's not your standard quizzes of reading and writing or doing, radio button responses. It's listening, it's interpreting musical examples, and then answering quizzes. Now, school students log in, the whole classroom can be working on this at once, or there's a unique student model where teachers can assign individual students within the classroom their own account, so that then they can do their own tests, and the teacher can actually look at those tests and see how they're going on a performance level. So very rich layers in interactivity of the students within the site. There's these custom JavaScript players that we've built that, the Bach concerto number 3 in G major, the third movement, and the text descriptions can change over time, and Alan can have total control over that in the admin area. There's full audio samples of different parts of music, with the notated music sitting underneath it. There's also the concept of highly interactive scores. So here's fully coded JavaScript player that can work on an iPad, so we're not relying on Flash, with a play marker indicating, so written all in JavaScript interactivity within the page. Pretty clever stuff. Sounds pretty good too. So yeah, as you can see, this site is very, very rich in its what it delivers to the student. From a back-end perspective, for us, there's a big, it's an iceberg effect, if you like. So there's a whole user management area where Alan can add schools and individual users. There's school management lists. There's all the tests and multiple choice management area within here. There's scale builder. We use short codes extensively within the content, so that Alan can embed rich elements within each page at a really deep level within this page. As you saw, we use these JavaScript editors and just punch them into the pages where we need to. So there's more to come with e-learning resources in the coming 6 months, but I just thought I'd give everyone a preview of what K&D's involvement has been with working with e-learning resources over the years.